Hello, everyone joining the chat. Let's talk about friggin' weight loss and the weight gain. The fact that people are gaining weight on carnivore instead of their goal, which is to lose weight, because it's happening to a freaking lot of you. Now, the reason why these subjects keep reappearing is because of the consultations that I'm doing. And I don't have like groups. Like, I don't like, oh, I'm coaching in a group and we're doing a blah, blah, blah group. That's not what I do. I do one-on-one. You and me, we're going to talk. And when you talk to enough people, boy, let me tell you, the truth pops out of the can. And a lot of these concepts, they just have to end because they're ruining your health. People are chasing like body goals without really understanding what they're getting into. People are literally damaging their hormones. Let's get into it. Now, I talk a lot about hyper or hypoglycemia, but what I really think is the problem is it's a dysglycemic problem rather than a hypo. So hyper is when your blood sugar is running high, and hypo is when your blood sugar is running low. And dysglycemia is when it's bouncing like a ball. And I'm starting to realize it's not really a hyper, well, that plays a big role, or hypo, why some of you are like, I don't understand. Like, I lost a bunch of weight and now I'm stalled out. I do not understand. Or they'll use their glucometer and they'll be like, I don't understand why I can't lose any more weight. And so I want to really go over these concepts of, there's already some people in the house. Just one like, come on, people, like up the stream. It'll help bring people into the live as I go live. And I don't check. So you hit the chat box and pop out, hit the thumbs up, pop back in. Okay, let's get into it. Dysglycemia is when your blood sugar is up and down, up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down. Thank you for the few people who liked the stream. It means it's bouncing up and down all the time. And, people are doing like challenges where they're like, okay, we're going to do like a carnivore challenge and we're going to do like beef and butter and bacon, or, you're hungry at night. You have issues with hunger, the hypoglycemia. Well, just eat something, like eat some butter before you go to bed. And then there's this priming thing, and then there's the fasting. Absolute nonsense. The problem is that none of these people are talking about your hormones. Some of these naturopathic doctors, these functional doctors, are starting to talk about, well, maybe fasting isn't so good for women. What you mean women? Everybody. They don't really break down, exactly, Talvish. They don't really break down these things. Like, I'm trying to go into the weeds, my people. Let's get in between the lines of the paper, okay? Let's get in between these lines. Okay. How do you become dysglycemic, where your blood sugar is like a bouncing ball, like if your blood sugar is doing this, and it really tends to do it even more when you go carnivore and keto. Yes, Liliana says fasting is a shortcut to bad health, but I'm going to explain why. I'm not going to just say it's the gateway into bad health. I'm going to break it freaking down. Okay, so dysglycemia is when you're like hyper and hypo and hyper and hypo and hyper, and you're just like blah, 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 blah. This is your blood sugar. Now, if you were a hunter-gatherer, this would not happen as much, even if you're starving, okay? Because you haven't broken your hormones. I'm sure they did break hormones, but we break them without even farting. Like, it's like, and they're broken, okay? People, you need to realize that when you grow up eating cornflakes and toast and oatmeal and any of these carbs, all of the carbs. Now, I talk about carbs and the starches because in nature, we wouldn't have starches, especially processed starches, in our diet. We might have some tubers, some rooted vegetables, but we're not going to have a lot of processed food that can be easily broken down in the stomach, doesn't require a lot of digestion, and then boom into your bloodstream really fast and a lot of it at once. The body does not understand this. So we do this. And if you do this your entire life by eating the standard American diet, which we all have done, then your regulatory system, your hormones can't balance anymore. They can't. And you guys are like, okay, do I do a thyroid test? Like, do I get a thyroid test? I'm like, you can do as many thyroid tests as you want and still be hypothyroid because the tests cannot show you if the thyroid hormone that you're making or the free T3 or the free T4 is actually getting into your cells to be used. Whereas T4, if T4 is converting to T3 to then go on to a protein globulin and get into the cells, it can't see that. So consultation after consultation after consultation, I'm like, I think you're hypothyroid. Yeah, I think your thyroid hormones are low. Here's the thing with the thyroid. If your body is stressed out, sort of like a survival mechanism, like why would your body do so many stupid things so easily, right? Like why would you swell up and have histamine? And why would you have thyroid problems? I mean, why would you have menstrual issues? These things wreck your body because modern humans do stupid things. And your body cannot keep up with the amount of pressure that you put on it. I always say, because you guys know I have horses, when you put pressure, too much pressure on a horse, it can't learn. It learns the second you ease off the pressure. So pressure the horse. The second that the horse does what you want, you praise it, like in that moment, because if you praise it a beat late, it doesn't understand. So you will see these trainers like hard on these animals, and then they'll do a pinch of a progression, and then you ease off. We don't do that. We don't get the solutions that we want so quickly. So when we don't get them, we just do more pressure. We put more pressure, right? Like taking supplements. Like one didn't make me feel better, so I'm going to take the whole bottle. If people take a Tylenol, take the whole bottle of Tylenol. A lot of people are starting to do this with these supplements for like they'll take BHA and HCl and they're up to like 6 capsules. Like, let's pull back, my people. Let's pull it back. Like, stop overindulging on things. Okay. So skipping meals is one of the biggest ways to develop dysglycemia and starting to gain weight. Because once your body can't balance the blood sugar, you're in storage mode. I'm sorry. If the blood sugar is not like this, you're storing fat. And we've got, I mean, a lot of these gurus have people, they have these made up like progressions of their dietary measures. Well, first you prime and you eat as much as you want. And then you start to fast. And then the weight just comes off. Well, hello, my weight's not coming off. Oh, just give it more time. Like, it'll happen. You know? No, that's not being honest. So many people come with different levels of damage. People are gaining weight on carnivore because they're not in ketosis. But what you guys don't understand is it takes months to get into ketosis. It's not like, oh, okay, priming phase. Liliana says, thank you, Miss Stephanie, for the wisdom in regards to information you offer. Thank you, Liliana. So, you can't just go and like, okay, so first it was eat as much protein as possible. And people are eating 2 pounds of beef. And then we know what happened. People developed kidney issues. They developed thyroid issues. Thank you, Sade. You're not too late. They develop thyroid issues. They develop reproductive issues, adrenal issues, constipation issues, or loose stool on carnivore. And I've said this, I was saying this like, I don't know, 6 videos ago, and I'm going to remind you, none of these people are completely honest. Maybe they just don't have the knowledge because they're not working with the individual, or some of them are putting people on these general plans. Now, I've got plans on my website. I've got broad stroke plans. They're not specific. It is very general and very loose how this could possibly help the general crowd. But the real way is to actually speak to that one person one-on-one and understand their journey and what happened to them. Were you breastfed? Were you vaginally birthed? Did you have any antibiotics? What did your parents feed you as a child? All of these things are going to make up or have a connection to how you're doing carnivore today. So if you have a slow metabolism, right, you can't burn fat very easily, then would priming and scourging your body with a bunch of protein and fat when your blood sugar is totally unstable and you have stress or you've got severe histamine and you are gorging on fat, you're going to gain weight. And the reason why you're going to gain weight is because your insulin is not doing its job. Or what about leptin signaling? A lot of gurus are not talking about leptin. Now, leptin is a hormone that is made in your fat cells, and it tells you, okay, stop freaking eating, my people. Okay? You're not supposed to eat 2 pounds of beef. You should not have a pound of beef in one meal. And the leptin should tell you that. But when leptin is broken, you could gorge that all down. When the signaling, when like you call and nobody's answering, right? There's somebody on the other line, but they're not answering their phone. That's what's happening. Sade is explaining that's literally going on in the bathroom at all.
The National Weather Service has issued a frost advisory.
Oh, I guess I better check the weather today to make sure that because we're having a frost. They're giving me like weather advisory. Sorry, people on the replay. This is real in real time. Last time I did a live, it was tornado watch. Now it's like frost, whatever. So we are not thinking about what's going on. Thank you, Sade. No persona or Charde, but I think it's Sade. Thank you, Liliana. So we are not, and thank you for donating to the super chat. We're not thinking about our insulin regulation. A lot of people now are doing A1Cs, and an A1C is pretty good indication, but sometimes there are people who do their fasted blood sugar and their A1C, and they're like today, the consultation, the woman had a pretty decent A1C. She was 195 pounds. Okay, 5'2", 195. What 5'2" woman at age 41 is going to weigh 195 pounds by eating? That's not possible. It's not like you sit there and eat all day long. It's broken hormones. So if your leptin isn't working, then often if your leptin isn't working, the signal to tell you stop eating or start burning fat doesn't work. It just doesn't. So you barely eat and you're just storage mode, right? So that's one way. Leptin resistance. I don't talk about it that much, but what I believe is that a lot of people are developing leptin resistance on carnivore, which is thus making them fatter at the end of the day. So in the beginning, you lose a lot of weight. And then people get high. This is exactly what happened with keto. People lost weight. It trended. It got huge. There's magazines and books. And like I was on the Dr. Oz show, and there's like shows, TV shows about it. And people are like the products. And it got so big, and then it totally crashed and burned. And you should see all these people who started these keto companies. They're begging me to represent their company. because they're just losing money, bleeding and hemorrhaging, because they didn't realize that selling out and selling a keto shake or some cookies or whatever garbage, beta hydroxybutyrate salts, this trend is going to crash and burn when people aren't seeing the results that they want. So this is also happening now with fasting. And of course there's a gnat, of course, with fasting and carnivore, that people are starting to damage their hormones on carnivore, and they're starting to gain weight. So at first you're like, oh my God. And people will lose a lot of weight on carnivore at first because you cut out the carbs and your insulin drops at first. Right? Blood sugar, insulin is dropping. And the body's like, oh my God, let's just get rid of fat. Thank you, Jetty Ren, that says, hey, Steph, want to get a few more tattoos, but I hear the ink accumulates in the lymph nodes. Do you think of taking any activated charcoal can mitigate this? Yeah, I could. Actually, that's totally off topic, but maybe I'm going to do, that's a good question. I wouldn't worry about the problem with your lymph nodes is when they don't drain. And so if you don't have a problem, which is typically a problem with women, if you don't have a problem with your lymphatic system, I don't think you have to worry about tattoos and the ink getting trapped in the lymph nodes. But with that said, I do think that charcoal might mitigate it. It might, because charcoal absorbs anything. Like it absorbs a lot of stuff, and then you shite it out. That's what they give people who OD. They give them activated charcoal. Or people who have like a severe histamine reaction. Like if you guys have histamine, this is off topic, but if you have a severe histamine reaction and you got to go out to a party, or you got to go on like a cruise and your skin's all jacked up, activated charcoal. But the caveat is, right, the backslap of it is you could become constipated on activated charcoal. Just want to let you know that. And black stool. But with that said, your numbers can look completely perfect in terms of glucose, the fasted glucose, or your A1C, but your insulin really is the indication of what's going on. So you want to lower insulin around 17, and people will have higher insulin, which means the signaling isn't working. And then we have leptin problems, and then of course we have adrenal problems with too much cortisol, and then we have thyroid problems. This is happening on carnivore, like this happened on keto. It did. People lost weight and then they start gaining weight. Or it happened with the HCG diet. When I first started doing my videos, 11 years ago, probably 11, almost 12 years ago, people were doing the HCG diet and it would work the first time, partially the second time, by the third time it wouldn't work anymore. And that's what's happening exactly with keto. The body will catch up to you and understand that it's not in ketosis. The insulin will rebound, and this happens to so many of you. The insulin rebounds, it starts to go up. Once it goes up and becomes resistant, now you can't lose weight. So first you're like, oh my God, I lost 40 pounds, I lost 60 pounds. But then it stops because you're not in ketosis. And this is why people gain weight on carnivore. And I'm going to talk about how to fix this, okay? This is a big problem. This is happening from client to client to client. Lose a bunch of weight, plateau, and all of a sudden you inch back up. Same as the HCG diet, same as fasting. So the thing that you guys know I have about fasting, the problem with fasting is that your brain is like, we are modern humans. When we fast, we don't rest. So everything is about what you do in a 24-hour day. It's not about the macros as much. It's about what you do to your body in a 24-hour day, and also how your body's been primed and conditioned to survive over the years. How you deal with stress and toxic exposure. So stress is not just an argument. It's also like working out too hard or too late, or it's going to bed too late, or it's chemical exposure, or even just having high blood sugar. When the insulin starts to rebound, so it's called physiological insulin resistance rebounding, and this is done on carnivore. Well, how do I know this? Because I've been coaching keto forever, and what happened on keto is now happening on carnivore, because they're virtually almost the same diet, but one you have fiber and one you don't. Yes. So Yolanda says, I'm not worried about my weight. I'm worried about blood sugar control. And that's really about your hormones. This is why in all of my consultations, we start talking about, people say, just tell me what to eat. I go, I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I want you to understand what's going on. I mean, I am going to tell you what to eat, but I'm not going to start with that. I really want you to understand that when you fast, right? When you're fasting and dry fasting and intermittent fasting, where is your body getting its energy from? Because food is gasoline to a car and it's tools to fix the car. That's it. That is it. So, Ian is talking about Annette Bosworth, and I don't know these women. There's some excellent gurus along with myself. But that's awesome. I don't know enough about them to say so. Why is my you know why my horse is at my door right now? Because he hears me yelling in my RV. Normally, that is the reason why. Fast equals famine. So fasting equals famine. So Liliana really hit it really well that when you're not eating, the body wants to slow down the metabolism. For some reason, somebody came up with some catchphrase saying like autophagy and cellular cleanup, and then people will start doing these crazy things like sitting in ice baths, and they'll start like fasting, and they'll lose weight initially. But look at these people. Look at people who fast. They age. They age exponentially. Look at some of these gurus. Okay, I'm going to give my horse a really quick treat because he won't go away. I'm sorry, my people. But that is the reason why I can sit here every night and work and he never comes to my door, but he hears me screaming inside and he comes to it. So the only way he'll go away is if I literally give him a treat. So I'm going to give him. Let's do this. And then I'll be right back. We're going to do this. People on the replay, chill, my people. Chill. Trust me, I don't want to open the door in a tank top when it's starting to be frostbitten outside. What do you people want? This is not trick or treat. What do you... Oh, you there too, Lulu? It's cold as shite outside. Come here, Thunder. Would you licking your lips? You licking your lips? What? You say yeah? Say yeah? It's cold, my brother. Come on. Yes, okay. You want some candy? You want some horse candy? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Okay. I've been spoiling you all day. You're gonna push Lulu away? Hey, Juno. Where's the baby? Where's Luca? Huh? Your side? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. If I give you candy, will you go away after this? Oh, it's cold. I'm sorry, you guys. I ain't going all the way outside. Thunder's tall enough for me to reach from my steps. Trust me, people, they're low starch. Look at this. Carb conscious treats. I even do that to my little animals. One last one, okay? One more. Can you say yeah? You say yeah? Oh, you side? Oh, good boy. Here. Come on. Come on, it's cold. There's the baby. Okay, I'm sorry, Juno. No. Now. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go. That's it. No more. No. Oh, next to my heater. Okay. Sorry, my people. My carrots are in my outside refrigerator in my shed. I don't keep the carrots in here because if I kept carrots in my place, they would never leave my front door. They love carrots to death. So that's the thing. I'm in this camper and the camper walls are like paper. So if I'm like yelling inside, Then Thunder, he's so smart, he's like, oh, you better give me some treats because I hear you in there. But if I'm quiet, he leaves me alone. All right, let's get back to it. Let me see. Yes, I had kidney cancer, and all the gurus said to fast. Oh my God. So think about if you have cancer. Okay, let's talk about this. Teresa said that you had it. Okay, hopefully it's in remission and gone. So if you have cancer and you're fasting, your immune system is already compromised. Okay, your body needs nutrients, it needs electrolytes, and it needs energy to balance your immune system. And the immune system is compromised by a lot of different things: your white blood cells, your red blood cells, your the function and the balance of your hormones. This is your immune system, your gut health. And if you are weak and you've lost your appetite on because you have cancer, or you're doing chemo and you have cancer, and you start fasting and your immune system drops and your blood sugar becomes more dysregulated, it's a good idea for like a day. But if you really want to fast, just cut out the garbage that took you there. Right? Put your feet in the dirt to become to get charged, supercharged by the electrons in the dirt. We are literally electron starved from nature. How can the cells in your body do what they're supposed to do when you wear rubber shoes, you're sitting next to your EMF phone and Wi-Fi and all of this? How? How's your immune system? You're fasting, so your body needs the energy. You're not giving it. The body needs vitamin D, E, A, K, all these minerals. You're not giving it to it. Vitamin C, the B complex. You're not giving it to your body because you're fasting, right? Because people are saying like, oh, fast the cancer away. Well, you don't have to fast to take away the toxic food and the chemicals and the bad lifestyle that got you there. You just change those things that got you there. Because if you were hunter-gatherer, they would never, but they'd be like, why are you not eating? Are you stupid? Like, what's wrong with you? Eat. Food is life. Food is a gift. So why are we forcefully not eating because we think we're going to cure cancer not fasting? Because you heard one person fasted and their cancer went away? And they go by like the one or two people. I'm sorry, you guys. That's not how it works for the rest of us. The rest of us have already come in here with a weakened immune system. A lot of you guys have already come in trying to do carnivore, trying to have already fast, trying to take out garbage, and you still are getting sick. You still get cancer. You still have autoimmunity. Well, now we got to look in between the cracks. Like, let's say they say prime, and then after priming fast. What's the logics behind that? So eat as much as you want, right? So you can stop the sensation of your carb cravings. Sure, that makes sense. If you eat as much protein and fat as you want, yeah, that's probably going to stop your carb cravings. But people start binging on protein. They just binge on it. Because God knows, I don't know how many people have gallbladder issues and cannot digest the fat. So people binge on protein. And then that protein is converted into glucose. And now after a while, that insulin, instead of being sensitive, begins to rebound and become resistant. Weakens your immune system. How are you going to get rid of cancer when your immune system is tanking? Or you're constipated on carnivore, or now you have loose stool. Right? Or you're still bloated. Now, this isn't everybody, but it's a lot of people going through this kind of stuff. So when gurus are like, oh my God, this is the same thing that happened with keto, my people, the same scam. Oh my God, I lost 60 pounds and I'm doing amazing. And the reason why carnivore is trending is because people talk like that. People are not going to tell you when they're having a bad day, week, month, or year. They're not. They're not going to tell you the failures. They're only going to tell you the successes and also perceived success. That's the problem. Okay? I'm going to get to the solution. I promise you, Yolanda, I'm getting there. But first, I got to really, really help you guys understand that your insulin and your thyroid and your leptin and your dysglycemia must get into balance, and your toxic exposure and your gut. So Jetty Run just donated to Super Chat, who says, I was raw food vegan for a year and wrecked my health. Exactly. Got 5 cavities. Steph's keto protocol turned me around to my optimum health forever. Grateful. Thank you so much, Jetty Run. And I love hearing that. I think that when I was first doing consultations, I didn't have the same success that I have now. Now I got you, boo. Like, yo, y'all people out there, I got you. Because I'm present with you. I got your back. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. So with the woman today, I said, look, a lot of people, we just sit and we talk about what's happening in your life, right? She had done a lot of things correct, but now hit that plateau. We got to look at, what time do you wake up? Now, this is part of the solution. Some people don't get it. What time do you wake up? Thank you, Sade. What time do you go to bed? How do you breathe? Do you know what's going on with any inflammatory markers? Do you know if you've got a gut issue? Do you have enough stomach acid to start breaking down your protein and fats? Ian said, listen to Ian. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Let's not make this too long of a topic. Ian says, Stephanie, do you really think that so many people are being dishonest about their success? Pretty much almost all of them. Yeah. Because the amount of work that it takes to hit your goals is like training 20,000 years for the Olympics. You cannot F up at all. I mean, like, F up and, like, go off and start eating carbs and screw up and then casually slide back in and no, you discipline. Like, in this whole ketogenic world where people were struggling to eat high fat because nobody was talking about the gallbladder or no one was talking about food sensitivities, people started doing cyclical ketogenic diets. Well, now we know why, right? They weren't adapting. They were feeling like ass rövhål, which means, booty hole in Swedish. People were feeling so bad on keto because nobody was factoring in their hypoglycemia, their thyroid, their leptin, and their gallbladders. I don't think anybody talked about it. So how do you measure success? What is your standard of measure of success? Because my measure of success is up here, mother sucker. I'm not looking for the small gains. I'm looking for the life-altering gains. And I will accept nothing less than that. And that is why what, my ass at 55 can go out to the gym with a busted knee because I used to be a pro skater and crush the shite out of it. Crush it. And go there. Hope I got this dang gnat. And go there with just an energy that's indescribable. And get this body, right? Get this body to respond. And I'm like, body, I'm going to put pressure on you, and then I'm going to release the pressure, and I'm going to be honest with you, and we're going to work together on this. You can't mess around with your body. I'm only going to be Stephanie one time. So if you're going to follow anyone, me or anyone, I don't give a shite who it is. You best question every freaking thing that you hear. In fact, the more glamorous and the more easy that someone makes their health journey, the more you don't believe them. Nothing with reward comes easy. You can't have joy unless you have pain. So if somebody comes on, is like, oh my God, I did Carnivore, so amazing, I lost so much weight, it was fabulous. And don't believe them. Because a lot of the times they lost water, their electrolytes tanked, the back pain. I remember when Carnivore Yogi and I were working together, and she was not disclosing so many health problems. So many. Her name is Carnivore Yogi. She had poor kidney function. She corrected it, but she had poor kidney function. Her hypothyroidism was exploding. Um, I'm trying to remember. She had kidney pain. She had Hashi, no, hypo. Or did she have Hashi's? I think it was Hashi's. And electrolyte issues. And didn't talk about it. She didn't talk about it. Now, some of it is because they can't recognize it, because nobody's looking for the problems. You lose this weight in the beginning, and you're like, oh my God, I did like my mom. I put her on a ketogenic diet. Somehow her glioblastoma stopped growing. She did have surgery, but cells were left over. They regrew into a lesion, and it's still in her head and it hasn't regrown at all. And I could sit and be like, oh my God, the ketogenic diet put my mom's cancer in remission. I would never say that stuff. Never. I don't know what put my mom into remission. I don't know. It could have been the fact that she was on, like, right? My brother made sure that he got some reef for her. We also use apricot seeds. We did vitamin C and vitamin C infusions and, oh gosh, not baking soda is called. I can't think right now because there's 20 things in my head. And then on top of that, take away all the garbage, the deodorant, the toothpaste, the cleaning detergent, took it all out, put all natural things in, and then did apply to ketogenic diet. And then on top of all of that, my people, my mom has this, well, not really anymore, but she had this very, very naive appreciation for life. She would say things like, if I die tomorrow, I'm good with it. She'd say, I'm good because my kids are okay. And I lived long enough to witness my kids be okay. She never cried. She never freaked out. Sometimes I think a part of my mom's denial helped her to not be in this state of misery because she had a glioblastoma, which is the most aggressive brain cancer that exists. The mind is so closely connected to the body. I feel like the more people who chase weight loss, they never reach it the right way. Look at the people on The Biggest Loser. They'd lose all that weight and gain it back. Like literally destroy their metabolism. So is that what's going on with fasting and carnivore? People lose a lot of weight in the beginning, destroy their metabolism, and then they just go back to what they were, right? Give them enough time. Look at people who did keto years ago. Nobody even talks about keto anymore because they destroyed their health on it. Look at Jimmy Moore. I didn't talk about Jimmy Moore for a very long time because Jimmy Moore put me in his first book and he interviewed me a bunch of times before he became a bicycle pedal. If anybody knows my code word for bicycle, as in children ride bicycle pedals. The guy now, Jimmy Moore, I think I'm going to do a video about him because, you know, he's all locked up right now for being a bicycle pedal. And I think he's really good to analyze. Like, the guy could never hit his goal. He was like, I don't remember how Jimmy, because he's super tall and he was super fat. And he did keto, or he did a low carb first. And then he did keto and he lost a ton of weight. His markers got better. Started doing videos on it. Like a lot of these people lose a lot of weight. Did a lot of videos on it and gained a lot of success. Now, Jimmy Moore was around for a very long time. And the guy just couldn't. And we know he's locked up right now. So when you got demons in your closet, like, how are you going to hit your goal? How are you going to be physically fit? Jenny runs like gotta using code words, yeah. So I'm gonna hit your guys' comments soon. I just want to go and talk about leptin. Now, like leptin, the mind, getting like in nature, getting enough vitamin D. Like I try to tell my dark skin clients, like, yo, you need to get some sun because that's a part of sleep. That's a part of your immune system. That's a part of it. If you're thinking about petals, like for them to get rubbed up, for your body to want to lose weight, it has to feel that it's safe, that you're not starving. Because if the body thinks it's starving, your body want to hold on to weight. And all you're doing is losing muscle and water and then a little fat, and the scale goes down and you're like, oh my God, I lost 20 pounds. I'm like, well, how much of that was muscle? And then if you lose muscle, you continue to ruin your immune system. So that's the reason why people yo-yo. Every diet is a yo-yo. Do I think that all of these people, do I think the majority of, I think if you don't turn off people online as a guru, if you don't say something that is scary and worrisome, like, this could be bad, be careful, I don't think any of them are completely honest, to be honest. I don't. Because there are so many issues that come with this fasting and 1 meal a day and trying to do all this biohacking and jumping into a freaking cold bath and like HIIT training. Remember that? People are doing HIIT training getting fatter. They're like, why am I getting fatter? I'm like, because your adrenals are freaking the frack out and freaking turning down T3 in your thyroid with your thyroid. Like, don't do HIIT training if you want to lose weight. You're metabolically inflexible, like you're deranged. You cannot lose weight when the body is stressed. It's like it won't allow you to. You can lose weight on the scale, but y'all want to get the gains. You don't want to lose your muscle. Yes, Brianna says nervous system regulation is key. So your nervous system, she's right. You can't just go and eat some ribeyes and these stupid things like first you prime. Like if I ever create a dietary evolution protocol, I'm going to make it so inclusive. I'm really going to create like 5,000 caveats because one size does not fit all. Like I'm not going to say first you do this, then you do this, then you do this. If I'm going to say anything, I'm like, first get your mind right. Then know what your existing health is. Those are the types of things I'm going to say. I'm not going to say, first you eat a bunch of fat, right? And there's no limit. Then we fast. And then all the weight's going to come off. And you're going to be fabulous. You're hungry? Oh my God. Eat a pound of beef. Go to bed. Before you go to bed, go stick butter in your mouth. I used to give that as advice. Go have a bite of butter before you go to bed. But then so many people have a sensitivity to dairy. And that was jacking them up. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't give that advice to everyone. When I do consultations, I'm like, do you have a butter sensitivity? Can you tolerate lard? Do you even eat pork? Because, I love Kelly Hogan, but she went on this big pork thing, and I love pork, and I went on a big pork thing. And then all of a sudden people start eating pork that are sensitive to pork, or have their religious reasons why they don't eat pork, which I find for me just put all that to the side and focus on your health, but I digress. The fact that people are gaining weight, like you're doing keto and you're like, okay, like the woman today, oh, I'm eating 180 grams of fat. And I'm like, okay, so how much fat do you put in your breakfast? She goes, well, I put a teaspoon of fat in the pan when I cook it. And I was like, you are not eating 180 grams of fat. Well, my app, forget the app, burn the app. Right? It's like looking at your cell phone for directions, like the navigation. Y'all need to start paying attention to your body. Take that app and burn it. Not, if I make an app, you're not going to burn that. But these calculation apps are so wrong the majority of the time. Okay. So, leptin. Yeah, see, I'm very visual. Thank you for donating. And Jetty Run says, I'm very visual, so if I see the health gurus, that is a health guru that is overweight and looks like they use uh, bicycle pedals, looks unhealthy in the face of carnivore bags under the eyes, ages, advanced glycation end product, then I'm very skeptic on their advice. Yes, but that's the thing. Here's the thing. This should be a whole nother video, but it would piss so many of them off. So many people. Like with women, it's very easy to hide health issues when all you have to do is lose weight. Like when men lose weight through gluconeogenesis and they lose too much muscle, you can see it. They look awful. But if a woman loses a bunch of muscle and she weighs, I don't know how many women I got, like, oh, I weigh like 105 pounds. I'm like, you are skinny fat. You're not 4'10". Why are you weighing 105 and 95 pounds? You're 5'6". I got women 5'6", right? 170 something centimeters, and they're weighing nothing. What the frack? No. These people have health issues. Okay? Look at people. I hate to call you out, Maria, but Miss Maria, she's a sweetie. I think she's great. But the health problems, ain't nobody talking about how freaking rexic that she's looking. She's looking very rexic, okay? And she's telling people to do stuff you know she ain't doing herself. Like when you hear cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching in your bank account, you tend to bypass everything. When you're selling 1,000,000 books with like fake sugar and garbage and almond flour, and then you switch to carnivore, and then you have to reinvent the scam, I'm sorry. Sorry. Now, why do I call out people sometimes? Because I'm freaking pissed. What's wrong with you people? It's enough that we're lied to in our everyday life about everything. Every dang thing. Inflation. The banks. Like what's up above us. When trains fall off the track. Like, what the frack? Everything is a freaking stupid, nonsensical, complete distraction, right? Look over here, people, while I'm robbing you over here. Make pretty videos that are nicely edited so I can rob you over here. You get frustrated when you're working with people who've got serious health issues. And they try all these stupid things and damage their health even more. And because none of them talk the way I do, I look like the villain. Because I'm calling out stuff. Like when this channel, this group, was a gang, the gangster people, right? The steak. And they're saying if you don't crap, it's because you're using all the protein. Are you, what, how stupid are you? Like, don't say that. Don't lie to people. You can hurt people. You can, oh my God, if you're not pooping, okay, you can have a bowel obstruction. Listen to me, my people. You can have a freaking bowel obstruction. Yes. And then you got stool leaking up into your bloodstream. Oh no, you're eating 2 pounds of beef and not crapping? What's wrong with you people? Thank you, Teresa. I just get sick of it. I have consultation after consultation, and I'm sitting there doing face palm, because so many people are tricked. And I'm like, well, why did you listen to that? I was desperate. I was desperate to lose weight. Now you're gaining weight. Now your thyroid's jacked up, and now you're backed up, and you got left side pain because your ascending colon is blocked up. Your colon, your large intestine stretches when you can't poop on carnivore. Exactly, Scott. You can't poop. Now it's stretched out that tube and it has a hard time squeezing. That's why you can't poop. Because you dried up. Because the body's taking the water out of the colon because you're freaking dehydrated and reabsorbing it, and then you're getting stool into your bloodstream and you're getting estrogen back in the liver, and then you're gaining weight. Right? Go look at your liver enzymes. Look at your kidney function on carnivore. This shite's tanking. This is just like the vegan diet. Oh yeah, do veganism and you're going to do great and you're going to heal everything. Stephanie says bowel obstruction and ended up in the ended wait. She said bowel obstruction and end up in the end what? End up in the or with me and the or with me and have to get a part of your intestine removed. Okay, so basically she's writing fast and maybe skipped some things, but Stephanie's saying that she had a bowel obstruction and had to have part of her intestines removed. Like, I have people who haven't crapped for 3 weeks on carnivore, and I'm not supposed to get mad, right? Nobody calls each other out because they're too busy making the freaking dollar bills. And there's nothing wrong with making money, but not at the expense of hurting people. I'm sorry. We have enough of that crap in our world. Slow your roll. Stop promising the sun, the moon, and the stars and having some stupid dietary protocol made up that makes no sense while people are getting injured. Over and over again, just like the fasting scam. What a scam. You have to have a strong metabolism. Your gut wall has to be strong. Your thyroid. Your body has to be so strong to be able to withstand. Look at David Goggins, right? Amazing man. David Goggins is the ultra marathoner. Like, incredible story. Used to be obese, lost all the weight. He looks fit. That dude's health is freaking jacked up. Ain't nobody talk about that? David Goggins' body is trashed from all that marathon running. Athletes are so unhealthy. Bodybuilders, don't even get me started. And a lot of people started off doing bodybuilder diets. Chicken breast and white rice. Yes, people are gaining weight. Listening. You're looking at someone like Maria, and she's as rexic as you can get. All right? And then nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. And like people be like, "Oh, I'm eating this food." They're not eating that food. Okay? They're not. What's wrong with you people? She used to have Hashimoto's. If you have Hashimoto's once and you're obese once, your metabolism is always broken. So you are not going to go and show people I'm eating all this food and be that thin. Like you've got some magical metabolism that's going to make you freaking 102 pounds after having Hashimoto's and being obese. Liar, liar, pants on fire. See, but Jimmy, he couldn't hide it because he remained fat all the time. He would lose some weight and he would gain some weight, and he did a fasting experiment. And I remember he fasted for 30 days, and at the end of 30 days he had lost 2 pounds. He was like, "That's so weird, I only lost 2 pounds." Because you destroyed your hormones, you dum-dum. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I'm going to keep it 100. Yes, I'm sorry. They're nice. Like, Miss Bells, she looks lovely. Like, lovely person. I'm not attacking these people in, like, their everyday life and if they open the door for, like, elderly person. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about giving out dietary advice to people who are freaking desperate. Look at all my live interviews. I need to put them in a playlist where people got destroyed. I even had somebody who did Jason Fung's protocol, damaged her body. She tried to call them and tell them, and they cut her off. They're like, "Oh, well, he's not your direct doctor, so like you're on your own. Bye, bye." Yeah, there's BK. Yeah, and we used to be great friends, but BK got all into the game. We used to be great friends. He got, like, I used to be friends with these people, but at some point they don't like that my mouth. They don't like it because I don't play the game. I won't, and I don't, and I never will. I'm never going to play this game. I'm not going to sit and put out 2 videos a day, because that's going to give me like 500,000 followers, and they're nicely edited, and I'm going to interview all the names, because I'm going to do all of the cross promoting and, talk to people who I don't respect. I'm not going to do it. Even with, I remember, like, even with some of these affiliate programs, like how they want you to promote their businesses, I'm like, ew, I don't like doing that. I don't want to do that. Like, if I'm going to promote something, I'm going to promote something I believe in. Like, if I'm really going to go hard on something. And it's like, I have a lot of people coming at me. There was a sponsor that came at me that works with, like, makeup removal. I'm like, I'm not going to do makeup removal for money. I could crush the game. I'm not going to do it. So I was with him doing a 30-day. What happened, Teresa? So I guess that everybody's done a 30-day challenge. Now, I did a 30-day challenge 6 years ago. Okay, so girl did this a long time ago. Y'all know that I did that years ago. I haven't fasted, but sometimes I skip an early breakfast. So that's the thing, Scott. You have to go, like, what's going on with my existing health? If I'm skipping, you saw the interview about Jason Fung. If I'm skipping breakfast, but am I doing a bunch of stuff, and what's happening to my hormones after that? Sade says at Ian, I'm setting in really soon. Wait, I'm setting it up really soon because I can't find the help that I need. Oh, our consultation. Yeah, let me drink some water. Let's talk about some solutions. Let me see. I gotta remember all the talking points that I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, I want you guys to understand that your fat cells become lazy. Your insulin is only in storage mode. You start to produce more estrogen within the fat cells, and your leptin signaling, which is, I think it's a hidden problem that nobody talks about, because so many people start binging on carnivore. And think about it. You're eating 1 meal a day, and you're eating a pound of meat or 2 pounds of beef in a day, and your digestive system cannot handle it. It's going to take the excess protein and reconvert it back into glucose, spike that insulin high. If you don't believe me, use the glucometer, and then let's talk. Okay, I don't want to hear how Sally's uncle's daughter's cousin lost 60 pounds fasting and she looks great. I don't want to hear that. I want to see her before. I want to see a DEXA scan, and I want to know if she did anything to her gut wall, her thyroid, or her adrenal system. Crepey skin, dark circles under the eyes. These are things that I want to know. And if you omit them, it's not like you're lying, you're just not telling the whole truth. And that's what I think they all do. Sorry. I've done it. I've left out tons of stuff until I start getting called out on it, like the melasma I developed on my face. Teresa, if you can't eat 3 meals a day, you're eating too much in the meals, or you have issues with your gallbladder, protease, maybe amylase, and lipase, and HCl levels. Then you got to work on that instead of not eating. Right? Sometimes you have to eat main meals and small, and I mean a snack can be a strip of bacon. It can be 1 yolk, just to continue to tell the hypothalamus, I'm not starving. So let's not go down that cortisol pathway, because if your body starts cranking up the cortisol, it jacks up your immune system and makes it very difficult for you guys to lose weight. You start gaining weight on carnivore. Antoine says, I'm really learning to listen to my body. It said to stop carnivore. Carnivore should be done. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Carnivore is absolutely fantastic. Did it myself for almost a year. The best thing is to use it to get inflammation down in your body for the short term, before the body figures out what you're doing and rebounds, right? So if you're trying to balance your blood sugar, you're having a histamine reaction, you feel sick, take out those foods that were bothering you. Do carnivore for at least 30 days or 90 days, and then start introducing plants back before you start losing diamine oxidase and then methyltransferase. And now people who do carnivore too long start developing allergies to foods they could once eat a long time ago. So many people are doing carnivore for weight loss and not for like literally histamine. For the short term, mast cell activation, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, candida overgrowth, parasitical overgrowth. These things are really advantageous in the short term. But in the long term, you start to have issues with your kidneys, you start to have issues with your thyroid, and issues with your electrolytes on strict carnivore. You want to train your fat cells to, and I'm going to start telling you how, to go through lipolysis, which is the breaking down of fatty acids, the triglycerides within your fat cells, and then starting to use them as energy. And convert them into acetyl-CoA so they can go within the Krebs cycle to be used. Or fibromyalgia, as Teresa says, that like a lot of people have fibromyalgia and they're just like, something, I don't know what it is, but something is making me feel like I have pain. So we'll just take out all the vegetables. But here's another caveat. People aren't talking about the histamine to butter and bacon and fish and aged meats and bacon, and still you feel a little bit better, but you never feel best. Yeah. And eggs too, for certain people. So solutions, let's talk about it. How you fix leptin, like broken leptin signaling, is by eating every 3 hours. When your body stops thinking that it's recovering from the fasting trend lie, when your body understands that it's not, and this has happened to everybody, when you stop the fasting and the skipping meals as a regular, like, body dysmorphia, when you stop doing that and you start eating throughout the day, small meals, because you've lost digestive issues, and so you can't eat and overwhelm your digestive system anymore. Think about vegans who are vegan for 5 years. Then they stop, and then they try to eat a bowl of broccoli, and they feel like they're going to die. They're so bloated. That's carnivore. You're going to have the same problems with carnivore that people have with veganism when you become too dogmatic and too strict about it. And then these gurus aren't telling you that they're actually eating plant source foods. I know. Eat every couple of hours for leptin resistance. Eat every couple of hours, 3 main meals, 2 to 3 snacks, and I mean small, for dysglycemia. Go to bed earlier for dysglycemia, for the thyroid. Things like oyster extract. Now, I don't like desiccated, like ancestral supplements as your primary example, but eating enough oysters to get the iodine and the selenium that you need, or the zinc copper for, let's say, leaky gut. You're going to get more of that in desiccated, cold, and processed, crushed, desiccated oysters, rather than freeze-dried, is what I'm saying. And crushed, rather than eating oysters. You can't eat enough oysters sometimes to get the minerals that you need to, let's say, help with the thyroid. So that's where desiccated oysters play a really big role. You guys know I've done a million videos on the importance of potassium, because you can't get that on a carnivore diet. You're not going to get enough of that if you're strictly just eating ribeyes. And of course, people have started to develop hemochromatosis. Jedi run, you can eat after 6 if you're really, really hungry, because some people like are third shift night workers, or they're second shift night workers, or they're going to their kids' freaking basketball game and they're hungry when they get home. And then what you eat later and how you eat is very, very important to keep your blood sugar stable. Like if you can do egg yolks or duck yolks, or something soft like a ground meat that's easier to digest. Gaining tons of fat weight on omnivore. I don't care if it's omnivore or carnivore. If your blood sugar is not stable, this happens when people start adding fat. Because now the gurus are saying, add fat. And then they're adding fat, and then they're getting fat. Yes, you are going to get fat on fat. Not because fat makes fat does not make you fat. The hormone insulin that's regulating everything is your problem. So if you go in on carnivore and you eat a ton of protein and you develop insulin resistance, or you have insulin resistance prior, you start adding fat in, you don't address your blood sugar and your insulin, you're going to gain weight. Period. So how do you fix that? You break up your food. You eat small meals throughout the day. If your gallbladder is functioning, you add fat throughout the day. Your body is much more adept to take down, take a small meal, break it down, utilize it rather than storing it so the assembly line doesn't get backed up. I'm going to answer all these questions. Eat throughout the day. Go to, it's that simple. Like, y'all, if y'all could go to bed extra early, diaphragmatic breathe, meditate, eat every couple of hours, rotate your foods, use a glucometer and see what foods are spiking your blood sugar, or use a heart rate monitor to see if your heart rate is spiking on certain foods, so you know how to more slowly integrate a food that you're having a reaction to. Like if you're doing carnivore and you're pounding down like a certain meat that's got bacteria in your body's like, I've got mast cell activation, I can't do this. Don't do it. If your gallbladder's not functioning properly and you're adding in a ton of fat and you've got diarrhea or bloated or a little pain, you got to be careful, because you don't want to get an infection in your gallbladder because you didn't know you had stones, for example. And a lot of people live their whole life not knowing they have stones until they start eating a bunch of fat. Fat is not the problem. It's your hormones prior to doing a keto diet. So eating high histamine foods that you're not aware of, like egg whites or butter or avocados, some people don't do well, and the heart rate will spike. They're having an inflammatory response inside. Then they go to bed and then they wake up 4 times throughout the night. And your body can't heal because you need to sleep deep to heal. Like, how are you going to lose weight if you're not going into deep sleep cycles, REM cycles? How are you going to lose weight if you haven't, if your lily soft bottom of your feet haven't touched the soil, that you haven't gone barefoot in how long, that you dark skin and you haven't gotten any sun? How are you going to get better? You're not. You can't just go take some glutamine and some supplements and that's going to help your gut. It's not. So get some sun. Eat every couple of hours. Rotate your foods. Don't give up when things are difficult, right? Go this summer, please, you people, and get your ass outside and put your feet in the dirt. Learn how to diaphragmatic breathe. Learn how to use your posture properly. Please work out, and don't overwork out, and don't work out late. When you realize, when you really go, okay, I ain't effing with this no more. Let's get it. I'm tired of living like this. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. That's when miracles are made. My people, listen to me. Miracles are made when you finally hit that wall. Don't make a face when I say you need to eat liver. I don't like liver. You are not my people. You need to do whatever you all need to do to get better. There is no more wiggle room. Your 9 lives are over for optimal health. If you are missing all these micronutrients in your diet, I don't care. Remember, I used to say years ago that I used to say this all the time, I would eat crap out of a donkey's butt if it made me feel better. Now I have 2 donkeys. I used to say that like 10 years ago. I never thought I would have donkeys. I'd take a spoon and eat right from their butt. Wow. And now I have donkeys. So eat 200 grams of fat. Keep your protein moderate to low if you're doing keto. If you're doing carnivore and you refuse to add any fiber for diamine oxidase, get oxtail, fish bones, eggshells, anything that can become a matrix to really hopefully get probiotics to grow on so you can repopulate that gut and rebalance the bacterial imbalance. But don't do strict. You best make sure you're on your electrolytes. Okay? Because you can literally damage your heart. Don't forget to like up this stream, you guys. There's a bunch of you on the live, and the ratio is so pissy. I don't check to see who's liking this stream. I have to remind people of that, because if people want to be anonymous, I'm not going to check. Yes, it's fine to see a chiropractor you really trust. Yeah, so if you guys don't mind to like up the stream, you just hit in the chat box, it bounces you out, and you hit the thumbs, and then go back in. And then that brings people more into this live stream. I was debating, it's like 9:34 here. I was debating so much to go live because it's like I really want to talk to you guys. I really want to like get stuff off my chest, but by the time I actually can sit down and do it, it's so late. Ancestral minerals, I don't know. I don't know. I do know that I don't think they can give you the potassium you need. I think that Redmond's real salt and Celtic salt are the only salts that I trust because our local sea salt has plastics in it. Sometimes the Himalayan salt has metal chips in it. I'm going to do a video about how our spices have a bunch of heavy metals in them like cadmium and lead. Thank you, Sam. Um no, I don't like electrolyte mixtures. I don't like humans. Humans destroy everything. If it's if you can get your life as simple and close to nature as possible, those are the ones who are going to succeed in the future, right? Not people who are like taking cookie boxes. Y'all who follow me know what a damn cookie box is, or a rooster, and I don't mean cockle-doodle-doo. When you guys literally work on your health and exercise, which was never promoted in the last, moments, right? Right, Antoine? Like, people just believe in, like, people have their head in the sand. I got a rant. Like, people will say to me, like, oh my God, you're so over analytical. Do you still recommend supplementing magnesium? Yes, that's the only one I really recommend. Magnesium glycinate, or if you can tolerate it. Yes, Jetty Run, I called a rooster. Um, Thank you, Jetty Run, for spending your hard-earned money on me tonight. Um, yeah. Today, I'm like asking people, I'm like, are you paying attention to where your food is coming from? So I had a contractor, I've had a lot of contractors come here lately. It's been really exhausting, I'm not gonna lie. I had a filtration system installed, and people kept saying, you don't need a filter because the land here is so clean and there's no bacteria and microbes. And I was like, you know what? The well I had in Texas, the guy said I wish I'd put a filtration system on it when I got my well, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it because if I have it, I have it. It's you don't have to change out the carbon tube thing is huge. It gets switched out every 5 years, so I got this massive industrial one, and I was like, it's not a bad idea. So now and forever, I will have the cleanest water. Unless the train comes off the track. Um, that was something that was very important. So today, every time I talk to someone, even one of my clients, she said, oh, I got raw dairy in Tennessee. I said, where? She goes, in Nashville. I said, what do you mean you got raw dairy? She's like, yeah, at the farmer's market. I was like, I'm all over it. Okay, I'm going to drive up to Nashville specifically for the farmer's market because I want some raw butter. And then the guy who is working on he's going to, there's some holes in the shelter that I'm in because it's almost 40 years old and it's made out of wood. And he's going to fix it. Thank God. He's like, yeah, here's 3 farms that have pastured pork and raw dairy. I was like, you're lying. He's like, nope. I was like, so I can get a big, huge thing of butter? He's like, yep. I was like, God, yes, that's a big yes. I want you guys to do this. If you guys want to lose weight, get your stress down. Get high quality food. Stop buying bacon with nitrates and sugar in it. It does matter. Don't fall off the wagon. If you do, get right back on. Those are my solutions. It's not that complicated. Okay, let me answer some of your questions and get off because I can feel myself getting really tired now because it's like 9:39 and I'm going to go to bed soon and feel very grateful for this beautiful life. Y'all, Tennessee is so beautiful this time of year. Oh my goodness. And don't nobody complain that I'm digressing because I'm never going to change for you. I was doing it because you had fibromyalgia. I'm gaining. So Teresa says she's gaining. Really learning to listen to my body. and setting up really gets in because okay. Let me see here. Um, haven't fasted sometimes to skip. Yeah, don't skip meals, people. If you really want your body to get on point, don't skip meals. Get you a cow. I don't need that because the guy who did the skid steering with the bushwhacker on my property, they have 160 head of cattle, and they're giving me beef grass fed for free. Dutch Meadow Farms. Somebody talked about Dutch Meadow Farms in my notes today. Because I want a half a pig. Real salt enough electrolytes. No. Redmond's is amazing. We drink good water with Redmond salt and fresh squeezed lemon juice every morning. Awesome, Sam. I'm trying to have a non-toxic life. I wish more of you guys would really wake up to what's going on. I think today was kind of like a really win-win day because I had the people who built the filtration system. They must have talked to me for like 3 hours today afterwards. And I'm in a small town. They knew exactly what's going on in the world today. Like they know everything. They knew everything, like the banks and the box of cookies and the rooster and all this kind of stuff. They understood like what's going to happen in 7 years, which is the plan. I even asked, I was like, do those lights have cameras in them for the 1-5 cities? And she's like, my brother or something works for the company that put them up. She's like, they don't. She's like, they don't right now. Some cities are starting to put cameras in them so they can read your plates. And I was like, because like, yeah. Let me see here. How do you feel about electrolyte water? Garbage. Run. Garbage. Waste of money. They use chlorides too. Ancestral minerals. Oh, yes, we asked about that. I guess I'm ready to get more active this season. I want to heal and start losing again. I've been doing whole foods and trying to stay fairly low carb. You don't have to do keto or carnivore. You can do low carb. I've lost weight just cutting processed crap and sugar. Wheat does. Yes. You want to think about that, and you also want to think about anything that's packaged. It's not just wheat. It's anything that's packaged. Okay, listen to this. Somebody said, "What do you think? What's your take on the new raw meat movement?" That's not new. That raw thing came around years ago, and I did raw meat for a month. I was like, I'm not going to do raw meat anymore. It's great because you don't kill off a lot of the nutrients in the meat, but the bad thing is the potential for bacterial issues. And so what I suggest is to sear it, and that's where the bacteria is collecting. So many of you guys have histamine. You can't eat raw meat. I'm sorry. It's just a trend. Going strict keto was a lot easier once I understood how dietary sugar damages the body via advanced glycation end product. Yes, so sugar damages this. The cell should be like this, and then it gets like, eh. That's what sugar does. Why do certain spoon foods spike your heart rate? Because your body's pissed when you eat it. It's like, ugh, it's hurting. This is inflammatory. And then anything that's inflammatory makes your blood sugar spike. Eating steaks 24/7 didn't work out for me on carnivore. Insulin was spiking too much. Exactly what I'm saying. Way too much dairy, protein intake. Animal fats is where it's at. Who came clean? She came clean about it all. Eventually, still a good channel. Who? I wish to watch her. Who came clean about what? It's hard to believe, Stephanie's, because I'm experiencing it. So they have to be struggling to do some disagree. Wait, it's hard to believe it, but I believe Stephanie. Oh, you believe Stephanie because you're struggling. Okay. Just saw just saw a stream with a carnivore doctor who claims to be carnivore for 14 years. It's a lie. What a load. Greg's like, what a load of crap. Funny how their vids only go back 2 years. Anyone who says that they've done it for years, they leave out like little factoids like I drink coffee or I drink wine or every once in a while I'll have some fruit or I'll have some nuts or you're out with friends and you have something and my battery's gonna die. Um like it's so funny how people don't tell you the whole truth. So okay, yeah. Okay, I think I got most fasting went shopping and in the store almost passed out. I was holding to my daughters and the cart. She was holding her daughter in the cart and something went wrong. I thought I was losing it. Because people become so hypoglycemic fasting and no guru talks about this. They don't put a lot of emphasis on it. They're like, oh, some people can't do it. No, nobody can do it. Not for extended. Fasting almost got you into the ER. She believes everything I'm saying. Okay, let me go back. I think I hit most of the comments. They're talking about carnivore yogi. Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. We used to work together, but I believe she couldn't handle how strict I am. And so she just sort of faded away. Didn't tell me she's fading away. She just did because she knows I'm too hardcore. I had hypoglycemia when sleeping. Yeah, a lot of people have hypoglycemia at night. So when you fast in the day, often you have blood sugar imbalances or dysglycemia through the night. It's so common in people why they're waking up at odd hours in the middle of the night and nobody's talking about it. Just prime and then like don't poop and then fast a bunch and you're just everything's gonna get fixed. Sverich eats a lot of cooked meat. Don't let him fool you. I know. See, actually, Sverige is actually his name. He used to be in a lot of carnivore scandals. So I gotta remember that it's gonna get cold. I have to turn on my water so my pipes don't freeze. How much should I eat beef liver? You can eat an ounce a day. 15 minutes city. Oh, oops, I said the word. 1-5 cities. Good luck with that. The GOB can't even balance their budget rentals. They're doing all this stuff on purpose, y'all. People don't be fooled. And everybody's so like in it's like people are still watching the Brady Bunch. Like we are in it, y'all. They are coming for you. Don't think that they're doing all this on purpose. How many things can go wrong before people start to realize there's some nefarious actions behind what they're doing? Like, why aren't people seeing it? Like, I literally left California because I saw it like this. I was like, y'all ain't going to take me to the dark side. Oh, hell no. Jetty's like, got some fresh blood for life. Okay, I ate like a half a pound of chicken liver today. I'm overdoing it. It's a little bit much. If you did that all the time, it could be problematic with too much iron in your system, right? Your body can't especially if you've got any gut issues. So there's some people with leaky gut. They don't absorb iron very well. They don't utilize the iron. So their body's just being over iron toxic, becomes too toxic. Teresa's like, why is eyes wide open? But so many people are not. Like, I'll do consultations. I must lose a quarter of my audience when I talk about this stuff because once people take the cookie box, they this is what they always say. It's too late now. And I'm like, don't think that. It's never too late. Like, detox that crap out of you. People are always like, oh, it doesn't matter now. I'm like, yes, everything always matters. You never give up. I'm borderline anemic and eat tons of meat. Do you eat liver? Liver is packed with iron. Yep, Jetty with the G and the O, right? So many people don't realize that GO is in it's in Nestle products. It's in the Pellegrino. Somebody's like, what's wrong with Pellegrino? I'm like, they put GO in it. Uh they put GO, like, I had a consultation the other day and this woman's like, there's a bunch of white streaks in the sky. She's like, planes are just going boom, 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 boom. So she took her snow and she put a to the glass that you put on your refrigerator, starts with an M, Nick, Mad Nick, on it, and it moved around. The GO stuff was inside. And that's why people are getting them like clumps in their blood, spelled CLO. And then I'll say TS. Yeah, they're getting that. Yeah, I'm surprised that people don't know about GO in it. So they put it in everything, and they have for years. Oh my goodness, my grandmother used to have to go to the doctor every week to have her blood removed. Too much iron. Yeah, some people develop hemochromatosis, like when your liver's not functioning properly, when your gut's not working properly. Yeah, I agree, Jetty. The real people know what's up, and we will labyrinth our way around this nonsense. All that liver with the iron made me constipated. Is it iron supplements or iron from liver? Shouldn't make you constipated if you're eating liver, unless you're eating ungodly amounts of liver. This is why my IG profile says awake, healthy, and happy. Yeah. Awesome, Sam. You know what? I love the people who follow me who get it, because sometimes yeah, B Bates, B Bates, shill, and then I'll say Gates. Yeah, I was looking at the map of where he bought a bunch of, land. I was like, oh, wow, there's a lot of water there. There's a lot of aquifers there. Wow. There's like Rome. You starve them, take away the grain, and they go hungry. You take away the water, and you done. Oh, smart, Galloway. You opted out of the cookie boxes for your babies. Like, never, ever anyone should do a cookie box for their child again. It's like, I was born in 67. So I think you only had 3 cookie boxes. Yes, I call them cookie boxes. The Billy Goat who opens the gate. um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I'm not talking about George of the Jungle Soros. People don't know about these people. They're like, who? I'm like, have you heard of this? No. My neighbor got really mad today because I told him that we have technology that can block, I guess it's the turbines, for electricity, that you could like make it so we can't have any power, and like nuclear bombs can destroy the turbines. And he's like, I don't believe it. I was like, what you mean you don't believe, child? I was like, look around you at the world, yo. Lo, do you see what happened in Nashville with the freaking school? Like, wake up, people. Like, they coming. And he's like, I was like, it's an easy to knock out. And I said, we wouldn't have power for 10 years. He's like, why? And I'm like, because we get our turbines from CHINA, from Chichur. Nah, we get it from there. We don't make anything anymore in the US. We are so vulnerable. Mr. Billy Gates is the largest. Yeah, of course, Scott. And it's not the land, it's the water underneath. That's what he got. That's why I moved to Tennessee. People are like, Tennessee? I'm like, because I got water for days. 5 Gmail. I'm sorry, probably I'm losing people now. 5 Gmail. I've never heard of that one. That's the shite. People don't understand that the Geo that's now inside of them is affected by the 5 Gmail. We're going to create our whole own language on this shite, right? Everybody else, listen, people on the replay must be so pissed at me right now. I don't care. I'm not your channel. Go watch somebody else who panders to you and tells you what you want to hear, because it ain't gonna be me. It is not me. I am a thorn in your side. I'm either a rose or a thorn. It's so funny because some people are like, "Oh my God, you overanalyze." I'm like, "Thank God I do, because I look good, my honey." Okay, you are gonna get all shriveled up and not live a healthy life with this. People are triggered. Some of the people I've met in this town, they're like, "Oh my God, it's just too much." Like, "Oh, grass fed this, and be careful for the the heavy metals in your spices, and oh, there's plastics," and like, you're over analytical. And I was like, and that's why I will remain looking young, and you're gonna have some issues. I know they took Tesla technology and they did some like hokey pokey with it. Jason's like, enough of this. What are the keto macros? Is there macros to keto? 2000. Their calories don't matter. It's your hormones. 200 grams of fat, 50 or less of carbs. No, 50 carbs would be so much. That's a lot of carbs. Oh, hell no. Keep turning on the heater off and on. Like, it's like on my back and it starts freaking making me so hot. Um, Let me see. Wait. Okay, if you're a guy, come on now. If we're going to use calories as some weird barometer, you're not going to have under 2,500 calories as a man, or else you're going to have eating issues or hormonal issues. What burns calories are your hormones and your stomach having the digestive enzymes to even break down the shite. Then you have to absorb it, right? And then you have to have muscles, so you have to have gluten flow receptor sites. And then there's so many moving parts for you to build muscle and to lose weight. Kimberly, the reason why we're saying these code words is because we can't say it. Y'all need to go onto alternative platforms and start researching this stuff. You've got the Quack Quack Go. Okay, we've got that. We've got BitChute, and we got Rumble. And all you have to do in Telegram, and all you have to do is type in the words, and there it all is. Like, there are all the doctors you don't see on the mainstream, all the scientists. I love Jetty Run tonight. He's like graphene and ox, and then I'd. Yes, you guys look what Jetty wrote. He wrote grap, and then he took up the words and he broke it up. So it's exactly what he wrote. Grap, heen, Hene, and then ox. And I'm not talking about a bovine cow, and then I'd. That's the word. Okay? That's what's in everything. That's what's been in everything for a while. That's what's in the cookie box. And that's what's fracking people up. Wake up, people. Plus a bunch of heavy metals. Wake up. Wake up. We're not living in Alice in Wonderland. We're living in a nightmare. Wake up. Okay? And you can take even the carnivore and keto world, when corruption and money and popularity gets involved in it, morals go out the door. People tell you whatever you want to frickin' hear. Oh my God, OMAD, fast, do bulletproof coffee, eat as much protein as possible, and don't poop, and you're going to be so healthy. You could take this garbage all the way down to why we're here. Like, just humans have this innate, they're so freaking insecure in a modern society that they will say and do anything to get the popularity. You know? Think about how controversial I am. And I'm not even controversial. I'm not even that hardcore. I was way worse when I was younger. I was way worse. And still ain't nobody talk like me. I don't understand why not. Not to like toot my own horn. Nobody talks like me because I'm so fabulous. Oh my God. We are so spoiled as Americans. Comfort comes before everything. And that's the thing, Stephanie. Like, I've been to Africa, right? I stayed in an African village for almost 2 months. That was a very humbling experience. These people made $1, less than $1 a day, no shoes, walking around with a bucket on their head. And I mean Africa, Africa. I wasn't in no like tourist resort, nothing. We're talking Africa, Africa. Okay. And I was tan as frack. I was 8 shades darker than I am now. My hair was braided down to the ends. And they had a mixed people there in Tanzania, that was some of the Arab countries from Saudi Arabia would mix with the Africans, and they'd be these lighter skinned, non like very Afrocentric people, and they just assumed I was that. When I went to Tanzania, when I think I was like 20, I think I was like 25 or something. Yeah, I was 25, 26. I was 26 when I went there to a small village. And I went to Sinza and Gorogora and Dar es Salaam, and I went to Zanzibar, and I went to the Serengeti. And it was a very, very humbling experience that we are so lazy in the West. When I hear people go like, "Oh my God, I can't eat anything. You're gonna take away my cheese, my nuts, and my coffee," and I was just like, "Shut up, noise." You must realize how fortunate it is that you are to eat clean food. We used to have clean water, but they put stuff in that. I think they put GO in the air. I think they put it in the food and in the water. And then people's like, "Oh my God, like I can't taste or smell. I've got like the boogeyman, Charada Ronabona." I'm like, no, you just got some like toxic poison in you, and it's tricking your brain because you've been watching TV. Now you put all these stupid puzzle pieces together that don't fit, and you think it's this and it's not. Who do you think is coming, and how? Why? What do you mean who? Ain't nobody coming. They're already here. They've been planning this stuff for a long time. All this chaos going on right now, all perfectly planned. Confuse you, get each other to hate each other, argue about nothing. People are like, "What do you think about this?" Like, I don't think about anything. Okay? I think about how healthy my horses are and how I'm going to be healthy. That's what I think about. You guys want to fight about these stupid subjects? Right? You want to talk about this? Right? You want to talk about this? You want to say they and them? One of my best friends is a TRANS. Best friend. Came to visit me. Right? I said, he just transitioned. I said, "What do you want me to call you?" He's like, "What you always call me." I'm like, do you have a female name now?" He's like, "No, I don't got no female name. I might. Just call me what you've been calling me." And I said, "Well, what if I accidentally say him?" He goes, "I don't care." He goes, "You call me what you want." I was like, "All right." So I do. I treat him like the dude I've always known. Yeah, organ meats. You mentioned organ meat to people, and all I hear back is eggs. Organ meat's amazing. Chubba Chubba Ding Dong is coming. Oh, good Lord. Well, if anybody knows what's going on, we will be living in 1-5. They will try to get you to 1-5 cities, right? They will try to make it so everybody's got to be on a schedule of cookie boxes and roosters. It'll be on an app. It's coming. You won't be able to use paper anymore to buy anything. And they will watch everything you do because they're already doing it with your thumbprint and your face and the camera on your phone. It's crazy. I can hear myself getting tired. How do you get GO out of the body? Well, people say that Start with thistle to support the liver. It's a bunch of heavy metals too they put in there. You might want to do some like infrared therapy, maybe some ozone, um, maybe some N and then the A and then the number C. Um, Luna's like, I hope Jesus comes to save us. I think we need to save ourselves. We need to save ourselves. You know, I think the test of humanity is to wake up. If you want to live and enjoy this beautiful life that we live, that we have, life is beautiful. Like I tried to keep it, and this equates to this whole stream. Like I literally, you know, we got put in prison in March, and I was in California, and by May I was like, no, I'm not. You're not doing this to me. You're not. You're not going to make it so I'm going to suffocate. Okay, I'm not putting a diaper on my face. I'm not putting a very thin panty liner on my face with ear straps. That's like putting plastic into the ocean. I'm not. Okay, I'm not doing that. You're not going to make me do that. I'm not. So I'm leaving. Bye. So I left. I took my big ass horse and I went to Texas. And I wanted to be in a place where they have this. That's what I want. Black girl. That's where I wanted to go. And then when I went there, I just didn't like Texas. And then I had bad experiences. Like, I'm not stupid. Not everybody's bad. But I had bad experience. Plus, I just don't like the topography and the heat. And so I ended up in Tennessee. And I've been through the day and people know this, the day I arrived in Texas, I wanted to leave. And I couldn't because I had no truck or trailer to move my horse and nowhere to take my horse. And I was not going to go back to California. So I was stuck in Texas for a year and a half. Stuck. Didn't know where to go. I was like crying. I was like, where do I go? I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Where am I going to take the love of my life, my horse? Where am I going to take him? And I never thought of going to Tennessee until I went to go visit my mom. And I've never driven around Tennessee because I always had a bad stigma based on like her childhood growing up here. She was born and raised in Tennessee, moved out to California, had me, lived in California almost 30 years and moved back. Then I'd visit her in Tennessee, and I never bothered driving around. And I think moving to Texas was one of the smartest things that I did because I hated Texas so bad. Anything would have been better. Sorry, Texas people. For me personally, anything would have been better than my experience in Texas. So I moved to Tennessee and I found this land and I really, you know, when I was younger, I didn't believe in the law of attraction because I thought it was so unfair that like all those trips to Africa and all these people who are just needing food and sanitary and clean water and they're dying there and they're having issues. And I'm like, why do I become a privileged person coming from the US and they're struggling in Africa? I just felt like no, like, and so I didn't believe in the law of attraction. I thought it was a joke. But if I really look back at my life, I went to Texas 1 year and a half, my people, was awful. But I didn't give up. There's a problem with people with their weight loss and the healing their gut. When it doesn't happen instantly, they give up. They start following guru's advice, it doesn't work, they give up. They start flipping diets. Yes. Look for some land. Galloway? Miss Galloway. I went through, I didn't know where to go. But I'll tell you one thing. I was never going to give up. I was never going to give up. I did not know where to go. I literally felt like the world is going to stop. And I need to find a place of safety. I just took my mind and what's the worst thing that could happen? And that became my goal, to find a home for me and my horse. And so I came here and it took me a year and a half. And the last place I stayed in Texas, they were like, the guy said, well, my sister wants to put her RV camper here, so you're going to have to leave soon. And then I got 2 more animals. And I was like, great. And I was like, you know what? No bone broth because of the glutamate and the histamine, meat broth with potassium. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to find a place. And he goes, I don't think you can find one by the timeline. I was like, I had till May to find a place. I found this place in April. What? I found it. He's like, oh my God, you found a place. And I would stay up on all of these real estate sites at the highest. I had no choice. I had to look when the market was the highest. And by the time I was looking at loans, which I didn't take, but the interest rates had gone from 2 something up to 5 point something. And I was like, I'm not paying an interest rate that high. And I found this land and I got them to get the price down so low. I was like, yes. So now my neighbor has another 10 acres. And now the market's crashing. When it crashes back down to 5,000 an acre, I'm going to get that land. I'm still living in big northeast city because my grandmother is still alive. But once that is no longer the case, I'm one of those weirdos. I'm just like, I'm gonna be selfish. Although I was by myself anyway, but like, I'm not staying. I will convince people to leave. I ain't staying. I have power of persuasion. If I had kids or parents, I would get them to move because I just know me. I was not going to stay. I wasn't going to stay another month, a day, or a year in that state, California. Yes, 5 acres, 5,000 acre. Come on, baby. It's coming. It's coming. When the interest rates for loans get that high, no anybody can buy. It has to drive. 2 years ago, here where I'm at, it was 5,000 an acre. 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, 10 acres was just 50 grand, right next to town, and next to major highways. And then it doubled and tripled. Now it's going down. Anybody's got cash, then you're lucky. But I had no choice. I had to buy my place at the highest part of the market. But I got a well in. I have a power pole. I'm going to put a house in. I found, y'all people, if you don't have a lot of money, there is a way. I'm going to do a barn dominium. Okay? The contractor today is like, he was just going to fix the pavilion. He's like, I can build your home. He's like, I got some Amish and some Mennonites. I was like, okay. $8 an hour. I was like, okay, we good. We are good. Texas was hot. It's fluck, okay? I can't. It's so flat. It hurt my soul. I can't do flat. I'm not living in the desert that has no mountains. If I'm going to live in the desert, I'm going to have mountains. It is flat. No mountains except for way west where there's nobody living there. And the hill country, I'm sorry, it's nice, but that's like, there's hills all over Tennessee. The people were okay. I'm living in Tennessee, yo. Hill country, Tennessee. Like, the only reason why hill country is a thing because ain't no elevation there. There's barely any elevation in Texas. So people make the biggest deal out of the hill country. It's very rocky. It's horrible for horses' feet. And it's pretty from a distance. That's it. I'm sorry. When you're driving and you going through Bandera and you going through the hill country, it looks nice because it's flat everywhere else. It's not like especially beautiful. Well, East Texas is a lot of trees, but still flat. I'm sorry. Flat. Trees are great. That's great. But Tennessee's got trees. It's got mountains. It's got valleys. It's got rivers everywhere. And it has hills. And it's got green grass. Okay, so when they tried to go and put some pumpkin seeds in the sky in Texas last year when that drought was going on, okay, yes, they can do this. And it's still dry in Texas. There ain't enough water. So Tennessee is bomb. Having Amish and Mennonites is gangsta, right? Oh, I'm so fascinated by them. The world could go to shite. And the only thing that the Amish can't do anymore in this town is go to Walmart anymore. But they're like, the Amish here aren't like the ones in Pennsylvania where they don't even allow their like reflectors on their buggy. They have reflectors. Steph, a 10 acre, I see. I have 10, I just want 20. I want the 10 next to me. So eastern Texas is much more green, and I mean, as far as trees go, it's still flat. I can't do flat. I'm from Cali. I need mountains. I can't. That humidity and heat and the flatness, no. I lost like a group of people just because I'm talking about this stuff. I was like, don't you guys get bored just talking about diet? I get so bored. If I was watching a live stream, I'd want somebody to digress to another subject. I didn't hear about the Amish dropping from the video. No TV, no fear, no stress. It's so funny how none of them got the sclyrus, or rhymes with sclyrus, or papyrus. So funny how none of them got it. People don't question anything, like the homeless didn't die of Sharada Runabona. Why don't people question anything? I don't understand. Ah, thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you guys. I'm totally getting tired now. I think we're like at 10. We're on 2 hours. Girl, no, stop. See, because I got to get up early to clients. I got to go, and I got to go answer questions on my course. So, okay, I'm going to wind this down now. Thank you, everyone, for joining this. I do have a course. I'm doing a challenge and a course. Not the same thing, but I'm the same person, so you have lots of cross-pollinating. But the challenge that I'm doing, it's going to be a 30-day challenge. It's $30 for 30 days. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa. I have to cover all 3 diets. It's not going to be carnivore. It's not going to be keto. It's not going to be low carb, high fat. It's going to be all 3 because no one diet fits all. Stephanie, any tips for feeding a 1-year-old? Are you talking about breastfeeding or food? Kids love fat, by the way, and their gallbladders work. Ours tend to not work. And it's going to be packed with a lot of great information. So tonight I was either going to work on my challenge information or go live, and I'm trying to go live more often, so I opted to go live today, and I'm going to work on the challenge tomorrow. You're having difficulties getting on Facebook? I don't blame you. My course right now, course and challenge, not the same thing. Same person, not the same thing. Course is through Facebook, but I'm actually going to have that put onto my website very soon. The challenge is on my website. It is not going to be on Facebook. Anybody who thinks this challenge is on Facebook, it's not. Challenge is not ready yet. You can't sign up for anything until I finish the damn thing. I mean, my web guy's like, well, we could do a pre-sign up. I go, no. That's a whole nother level of pressure on me. Let me finish the damn thing, right? Just let me get it finished. And then once it's finished, I'll announce it. And then I'll have pre-signups when I know it is all ready to be dropped and loaded. And people with pre-signups will get like some freebies out of it. So, well, my people, it is time for me to go. I'm so tired. Oh my God. Like my brain is lit, but my body's like, girl, it's enough in a day. I'm like getting up early to work out. I've been outside for hours working with like contractors and the people who are fixing the well. Don't hang on the Meta Zuck form. I know. Don't even bother. I don't blame you. And I'm getting off of it. I just got to pull all the information off of it onto my site. And it's really hard because I'm trying to do lives. I'm trying to do edited, videos of to show you my life, like as in like a documentary style. I'm trying to take care of these big ass animals and I just don't have anybody to be like, hey, can you do this for me today? Like there's no one to help me with anything. So I run out of time every single day. Like, and it's like I should be going to bed early, but I just run out of time every day. And I don't like this. So when I get my house built and everything's organized, I'm going to literally, like, first thing I'm going to do, if the borders don't shut, I'm going to go to Peru because I want to go to Machu Picchu. Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to go back to Europe, say hello to some friends, and I'm done. I wanted to go to India, but I got to take a break. And then just enjoy the life here in this small country town. I was thinking about doing retreats on my place. So, because I still need to keep meeting people beyond this town. Don't go back to South Africa. I know, I went to South Africa so many times. Oh, like, they're having so many problems now. Water and crime and all kind of stuff. Who is this? Did I meet this Jetty Run? Hope Dr. Noakes is okay. I don't know how he's doing. I met Tim twice and interviewed him twice. So I've got old interviews with Tim Noakes from Cape Town on my channel. Dr. Berg, Thomas D. Steph has been the most resource with blood glucometer and insulin information. What you talking about? All the information. Not just that. Blood sugar, yes, ketones, but also like gallbladder issues in conjunction. I'm tying everything to do with the diet itself, not just. Dr. Berg does have some good information on, was born and raised in South Africa. Gotcha. Yeah, I want to do a retreat. I just think I just want to do something that's for adults that is super educational and just nothing but fun. Like when I went to Iceland, I did so many things. I want to create that. So many people have got land. Like I know somebody else here, he's got 120 acres. I'm like, can I do a retreat on your place? He's like, maybe. So, because my place is not technically big enough. It's only 10 acres. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you, everyone. People watching the replay, I know. It's just one of those nights. My next video will be nice and boring and antiquated. So there will be no audience to be distracted by. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jetty Run, for donating so much to the super chat. Yeah. And I want everybody to take care, and my heart's in the right place. I was in a sarcastic mood tonight, so this is what you got. Maybe tomorrow I'll be more humble. So with that said, thank you, everyone. And no doubt, thank you, Jetty Run. Yes, you can, my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My stupid Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. My course, you can sign up through my website. And the challenge is coming soon and will be signed up on my site and all done on my site. Not on any Zuck and no FB platform. Bye, guys! And see, my horse stopped bugging me. I was like, now go away. Get away from the door. And then he left. It was good. Smart horse. Bye, guys.